So when did you find out that Woj was gonna
When you did.
leave? Oh yeah,
Yeah. I think he had hoped to tell a couple of us before that announcement went out, but then it started to get around. It was like one, like every news story, like
yeah,
once you tell one person or two people, it starts to get around, and then it started to get around, and you lose control of the story. And
yeah.
so I think he made the right call there, because I talked to him later that day. He said, "I'm sorry, I was going to call you, but yeah, I was really bummed. I'm really bummed. Like I don't know. It was interesting because he and I work so closely together, and we have very complementary roles, right? Like he was in the lead, chair for news breaking, and but we all are in constant communication, and so it's like now when I hear something, I'm like, um, I like, who am I gonna call? Like I miss calling him, right? And obviously I call Brian Windhorst all the time, and Tim Bontemps, and I mean, I don't know, maybe I call Bobby Marks more than anybody. Bobby Marks is like, he's the secret sauce of our place. I don't know if everybody knows how good Bobby is at everything. And like the greatest teammate ever. I mean, he publishes this stuff. It's out there for everyone to read. If you need to know how to go be an NBA insider, just read Bobby Marks's off-season forecast, and it'll tell you everyone that you should go try to break, and everything you should go try to call on, and stuff like that. But I think what was interesting with it was like how, I mean, obviously Woj bombs land all the time on NBA news and notes, right? But when it was with him, it was a big one, right?
Yeah.
How did it land with you?
Yeah, no, it definitely it hit different. It was certainly I mean the first when I read it first, I at first I thought it was a fake account. I didn't think
Yeah,
it
me
was coming
too.
directly from him.
I
So
did too,
like
because you know what? I didn't
I
see
double
his
checked
one.
that. Yeah, and then
I didn't see his post. I saw Passon. I saw
yeah.
Passon saying he's going to be at St. Bonaventure, and I was like, "Wait, what? I'm sorry." And then I went back and I saw the original. I was like, "Oh, it's a whole thing." Okay,
What
wow.
was that conversation like when you spoke to him later in the day?
It was within. I mean, it was literally within a couple hours. Like I texted him first. His phone was off because he had to keep it off
Yeah.
at that point. But he called me, and I dropped everything. I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" And he said all the things we would say, and we resolved to go have much a longer conversation in the future. But um, I was I was sad more than anything, but I was really happy for him and his wife, because I feel like he's running towards something, and it's something that I think I can say this now. Like he recruited me once when he was at Yahoo. He was building the vertical out, and he tried to go recruit me to come work with him. And I was really tempted because of him. Like I didn't want to leave ESPN. I'm ESPN. It's the biggest platform in sports. I appreciate everything I've gotten since I joined ESPN, and you don't walk away from that lightly. But Woj was calling, and it was, I mean, he's like, I took his call, and he was the draw, right? Like just seeing how hard somebody works, like how he did what he did. Like I feel like I've had a front row seat to see um how how the greatest newsbreaker in NBA history has done his job. It's just like it's unbelievable to peek behind that curtain, and to see how that guy's wired and still maintain a humanity to him. Like it's like I don't know how he did that for as long as he did to maintain a humanity. I know he certainly didn't sleep it that much, but he still is a human, and
Right.
that's really amazing that he was able to do that. And so good for you, man. I like good for Adrian, good for his kids, good for his wife Amy. I mean, I've gotten to know her over the years too. We hang out when she comes to LA with him, and I just think like that's a pretty baller move to just walk away at the top of your game, right?
Yeah.
Walk away on you're the king, man. You just like left the Iron Throne. It was pretty amazing. And so like on the one hand, for like a couple of hours I was processing what that meant. I was thinking like, oh, okay, wait, but I got to make sure that we have this Joel Embiid extension. I gotta make sure that we don't lose any news that he might have been working on. um Jump into the fray, call our mutual, like call a lot of the people who, like, we both call a lot of the same people. I have different areas where I'm strong. He has a lot of areas where he's strong, but there's a lot of overlap in that Venn diagram. And now I gotta got to make sure those people don't leave, right? Like, hey, we still got to do the business. And so, and then I got, call people on staff, and like there was a lot at once. And I had a couple stories due too. So I was trying to, I remember
Chaos.
the night I had a story that I had carved out the rest of the day to work on my story. And it was like, oh boy, there goes that day. Like I had a WeWork office booked, and I was gonna like write the rest of the day, and then I was like, I'm not getting to that until tonight. And so I think I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning that night writing, because I had to wait for the kids to go to bed, and then I could focus and stay up and crank something out. And but I was really like really scattered, because it was such a he was such a leader, and he was such a hard worker, that we have to just all process this, reorient, and make sure that we do the job. Like, we're the worldwide leader. We gotta lead.